So I thought it'd be fun to make a video about bad dates. So I posted on my Snapchat and I said, tell me your worst date stories. Worst and weirdest, message them to me. So I got a lot, more than 100 submissions. So I read them all and I picked some of the ones that stood out to me as being the weirdest and worst. So let's just get right into it. Here we go. I was on a double date, and afterwards we went to the one guy's house. My date had a knife and was joking around, pretending to go at my friend with it. And my instinct was to stop the knife, so without thinking, I put my hand out to stop it and got stabbed in between my fingers. It was like 2 a.m., so we tried super gluing it, but since it was between my hand, it kept ripping open. Once Instacare was open, we went and the doctor had to pull out the super glue with tweezers, and she submitted a photo of her hand. I can't even. That guy, that's the biggest fail ever. So, the best thing about this one to me is just imagining the conversation the next day, like with his mom. Just like, so how'd your date go last night, sweetie? Date? Oh, date, yeah. Totally forgot about that. Nothing really significant happened. Oh, well, what'd you do? Dinner, movie, stabbed her. Up next, went to Costa, the restaurant, and sat in silence about 90% of the time. Then he said he liked my face and asked me if I liked his. Many things wrong with this one. Okay, you can tell somebody they have face compliments and skin compliments. You have to be very charming to pull those off. Because it goes either like a really nice compliment or terrifying. Hannibal Lecter type of comment. Like if you're sitting there quietly across from her at dinner, just cutting your food, and then you haven't said anything yet, and then you're just like, I like your face. And then you're just like, thanks. Do you like mine? Went to get sushi with a guy, and he told me how he didn't like that his sisters were getting taller than he was because it made it more difficult for him to assert his dominance. That's great. This guy's a keeper. This guy's the ultimate alpha male. And you know what? I hope so badly that his tall ass sisters beat the shit out of him. That would feel great to know. One time, I took this boy on a date to go see Sir in concert, and after the concert, we were at the merch tables and were offered to go meet Sir. So as me and my date were leaving the tables to go to the area where the people told us to go, my date grabbed my arm and just started screaming at me, telling me I'm not allowed to talk at all because he didn't want to be embarrassed once we met Sir. He started to make a big scene too, and the security got involved and kicked him out, and I had to sit with all the security until my mom came and picked me up. That's amazing that you take him to this concert and then you get to meet the artist and they're like, and this guy's just like, you will not embarrass me. You will keep your mouth shut. What nerve? What? How do people? It's like his mom. That is only acceptable if you're like meeting the Pope with your mom. That's something your mom could say, like smack you in the head, just like, you won't embarrass me up there. Not at a concert that a girl invited you to. I had just had sex with someone when they decided to tell me that they had a blood kink and wanted to cut me. I left about 0.5 seconds later. So at first I thought this was super dumb because you don't bring up your kinks after you've had sex. You can rarely get people to stick around to cuddle afterwards these days. Let alone bring up your, I want to stab you. But wait, where are you going? I wanted to stab. But then I started thinking about it and I was like, it's actually genius. Most times after sex, I'm always like finding an excuse to get them out. Like, my mom's coming over in the morning. Don't you live with your mom? Yeah, she's coming downstairs because I have an appointment. She's taking me too. But instead, this whole time, I could have just been like, I have a blood kink, and she'd just be like, Pew! My first ex decided to lie on our third date about how they had dissociative identity disorder, and they then pretended to switch with another personality. The personality was no different from them usually, but they made more jokes, more sex jokes, and made everything really uncomfortable. I was walking in the woods alone with them at the time, and I was like 14, very scared and very pissed. So the first time I read through that, I thought when you said them, like it was a group date, and now I realize them is just him and his other personality. I love that. This guy's got it all figured out at 14. He can sexually explore your boundaries and what he can get away with, risk free. He could say whatever. You could be you're walking in the woods, and he's just like, "I want to squeeze your jugs," and then you're like, "What?" And then he's like, "What? What did he say? Tell me what he said. I'll kick his ass." He wanted to squeeze my jugs. Oh my, what? Oh, he said that. How does that make you feel though? Like what were you feeling in the moment he said that? Was it kind of hot, or was it like gross? I met this guy on Tinder. We went for a late night drive together. He was really cool and nice at first, but then all of a sudden he started being really racist, talking about black people and Mexicans. I'm Mexican. He didn't realize that I was Mexican, and so the whole time I'm like freaking out in the car for 2 hours. Finally, he dropped me off at home, and I blocked him on everything. This one's crazy because you can't even stand up for yourself in that moment. That'd be so shitty to sit through because you can't like defend Mexicans or yourself and be like, oh, that group of people you hate so bad? Yeah, I belong to it because you're in his car at night. And also, it's hilarious that it exposes how stupid racism is, that he was fine with you and didn't know. It's as though race and all that isn't a good way to judge how a person is. So one time, I let this boy come inside my house after our date. I went to my bathroom to freshen up, and I came back out to find him standing there in the middle of my family room with nothing on but his temple garments. I was speechless. So for those of you that don't know what temple garments are, aka Jesus jammies, they are these Mormon garments they wear under their clothes. It's like how Jewish people wear a yarmulke. Mormons wear these white, silky garments under their clothes. It's like long underwear. The pant legs are like this long. They're not very good looking. Okay? Whoever designed those is not going to be invited to New York Fashion Week anytime soon. And also, why is this guy trying to hook up? Mormons believe in abstinence till marriage. That's why they make you wear these ugly garments. So no one will fuck ya. I don't get it. Looks like the boner won this round. Part of me wants to say this is fake, but I've heard too many stories from friends who've gone on dates with Mormon boys, and some of them are a different breed. But not all, of course. I have a lot of really good Mormon friends, so it's not a good standard for judging people. But this is hilarious. So I met this boy when I entered 10th grade. I liked him a lot, and he seemed to like me too. He asked me to school dances. We hung out a lot after school. It was a whole thing. Everyone thought we were dating for a year, right? Anyway, we went to dinner one night, and it was like 3 days before our anniversary. I was excited as it was like my first actual relationship, although it wasn't completely official. We'll have to pause real quick. If it's not official, at the guy's request, look into that. It usually means something, all right? Guys will do this thing where, like, the girl could be like, you could be laying in bed together. So, what are we? What are we? We're just friends. What? Oh, like we have a kid. We live together. I'm wearing your mother's ring. I go to your family Christmases. Wait, whoa. Look, I told you from the start, I just wanted to be friends. If you caught feelings, that's on you. Anyway, moving on. We were at dinner for like 2 hours before a girl came to the table and sat right down. He looked at me and told me, "This is my girlfriend. We've been together for 2 years," and then continued to ask me, an 11th grader at this point, if I'd continue a polyamorous relationship with them in order so he wouldn't lose me or her. Wow, what a caring guy. He's just like, look, I don't want to lose either of you. Can I just sleep with you both? This guy, oh my God. It's so weird to be like under 18 in doing that. That's just bizarre. So it sounds like you bailed. That's good. That's insane. One time, I went to a Globetrotters game with my ex. My mom picked us up, and he sucked on my titty in the back of my mom's minivan. Not proud of that one. I don't know what's more embarrassing about this story, that you got your titty sucked in the back of your mom's minivan, or that you went on a date to a Globetrotters game. For those that don't know what the Globetrotters are, it's the WWE of basketball. It's like a scripted game with flashy tricks. It's where if you're trying to be in the NBA and you can't play defense and you have no jump shot, but you can dunk, that's where you go. To the Globetrotters. Oh man. I had a date where in the middle of eating and having a conversation, he told me he could never love me. Wow. This one's amazing. Because they went way too hard. Even if that's the truth, keep it lighter than that on a date. This is how I imagine this played out. They're at a steakhouse to set the scene. Okay. First date, steakhouse. So, are you enjoying the steak? I'm not feeling a connection, and I can't imagine myself ever loving you. I said, how's the steak? Not the date, but thank you for your honesty. A dude I went out with showed up hungover, showed me his arm that had 12 plus Sharpie marks on it and was how many drinks he had the night before, then proceeded to get mad at me because I was zoned out, not paying attention, when he was talking about his ex-girlfriend. Many things I don't understand about this. Why? I can see marking your arm for every drink so that you can keep track of them so you don't overdrink maybe at a party. Keep track of how many you've had. But when you've had more than 12, you're just documenting your demise. That's all. And then the other thing, getting mad about you talking about his ex. Why are guys using Tinder for therapy? Like so many guys out there now, I hear all these stories where it's just like, guys are hitting a turning point where they're finally feeling comfortable talking about their problems. They're just like, you know what, Mom? I think I'm going to finally seek help to deal with my issues. And then their mom's like, oh, that's so nice to hear, sweetie. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it right now. And they get their phone, and the mom's like, oh, you're calling a therapist? Let me get my phone. I have a great therapist I could recommend you to. A therapist? Oh, I can't afford a therapist, Mom. I'm downloading Tinder. What are you talking about? Once I was on a date with this man who was still in the closet, homosexual. Casual bar and grill. Suddenly he sees his parents walk in and demands that I go to the bathroom before they see us. He said he'd text me when they leave. 20 minutes of me sitting on the toilet, I come back and they're sitting together, and he pretended like he didn't even notice me or knew who I was. The parents stole my date and they didn't even know it. This one is so good. I feel bad for the guy, honestly, that he feels like he has to hide it from his parents. But also, couldn't he have just been like, oh, this is my friend? Because the guys can go to dinner with their friends. Unless he hyped up to his parents before he left, like, I have the hottest date tonight. I can't wait. I'm so excited. The hottest date. And then so then he knows that if they see him there, they're going to be like, oh, this is your date. This is the hot date. Wow. He could have played that in so many better ways than that one. Okay, so one time I met a guy from Tinder and we had been talking for like 2 weeks and we decided to go on a date, and in his bio he said he was 5'5". So I was like, all right, chill, that's the same as me. Then he shows up and he's literally shorter than 5 feet tall. So he lied about his height. When he walked in, he tried to kiss me right off the bat and I deflected. The balls on this tiny man. To lie and walk in still confident. Like if I lied about my height by that much, I would be walking in like, I hope she doesn't notice. Please don't notice. And this guy walks in for the kiss off when you meet. Jeez. So I started making dinner, and while I was slicing raw chicken, he started feeling me up and was trying to kiss the back of my neck. And my only thought was, he's on his tippy toes. Oh. Oh my god. Anyways, I was bored and horny, so I went into my room, took 2 shots of vodka, a hit off the pipe, and a Xanax. How are you not dead? I could relax enough to sleep with him. So I could relax enough to sleep with him. And then he had a micro penis. Oh god. Here's the thing. I don't want to body shame, but if you have a micro penis, I feel like you gotta tell people. It's some you gotta. I don't even know if you gotta tell people, but I would. I wouldn't be whip. I wouldn't whip it out like in the moment. I'd hint, slip it in. No pun intended. I could relax enough to sleep with him. He had a micro penis. I didn't feel a thing, and I couldn't get him to leave afterwards until I brought up weed. I blocked him on everything and then found his Facebook and turned out he was a return missionary. Of course. Wow. That's all I can say to that one. Wow. Lying about your height. Here's the other thing. Why? If you're going to con somebody into liking you, like, oh, I'll lie about my height. They'll let them make feelings and then I'll reveal it to them and they'll already like me, so it won't matter. It's like, no, what happens is you show up and you're not what you said you were. And then they immediately aren't like, oh, well, I like him. They think, oh, this guy's a complete liar. What else is he lying about? Can I trust him at all? Also, it's fine if girls want to discriminate against you for your height, I say fine. That's fine. Most guys, I feel like, do you want to be the tiny guy in the relationship? That's fine if you do. Sometimes it mixes and matches. All depends on the relationship. But in general, I feel like guys do like to be the same height or a little bit taller. So don't blame girls when they like to be the short one or the same height. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. One time, I went on a date with a guy, and when we went to get on the freeway, he started making car noises like he was racing. And I thought, oh, maybe he's just being funny. But he was legit doing it out of habit. He kept doing it mid-conversation, and we almost got in 3 accidents. I love this guy. That's amazing. That it's like just, he can't not do it. It's compulsive. So tell me about yourself. Well, folks, that's all. That's the end of them. I had some others I didn't get to read because for a few reasons. Sorry if I didn't read yours. Some of them were too long. Some seemed fake. Some are too similar to other ones I had. Some of them, I just couldn't think of anything funny to say about them. So that's that. If you have a weird date, though, and you want to comment it, definitely do that. Also, if you're maybe one of the guys from the story and you want to defend yourself, comment. Let us know your side of the story. And that's it. I'm going to make a new video in maybe a week. So, all right. Thanks for watching.